Hey everyone, this is Steli, Efti, and this is the end of the year. And here's what a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of people in startups, a lot of ambitious people are going through. You're thinking, holy fuck, how quickly did this year end? What the fuck did I even accomplish this year? And most of you, if you're anything like me and anything like the people that I interact with, you're so ambitious that you're kind of like wondering, was this a good year or not? So here's the thing that I suck at. What I absolutely suck at is celebrating success, is finding ways to really get excited when I accomplish something I always wanted to accomplish. I'm so ambitious and I'm so driven towards the future that once I hit a certain milestone that I always wanted to hit, I don't know, I can't but already have the next milestone in mind and starting the chase towards that. And I just have a really hard time to stop and smell the roses and really celebrate the success and really get excited, really high five everybody and kind of soak it all in and feel amazing. Yes, I accomplished it. The moment I accomplish it, I go, okay, off to the next one. So I've been struggling with celebrating successes for many, many years. I've been struggling for being more grateful on a daily basis because I think there's power in gratitude. And Heaton and I talked about this in a recent episode of the Startup Chat podcast. I'll link up to that in this video. The power of gratitude in business and in life. So I came up with a little hack, and this is 2 or 3 years ago, that I would have never thought that it would have been so successful and so impactful in my life. And I started to share it with people, and their response has been amazing. They're like mind blown when I tell them how I do this. And that reaction has inspired me to think, oh, fuck, maybe I should share it with everybody, right? Maybe this is not just such a small tool that works for me. Maybe this is something other people can benefit from. So here is how I keep track of all the good things that happen to me and that I make happen during the year and in my life. And it's a tool that takes very little time, no resources, and will allow you, especially during the end of the year, during the December holiday season, to actually reflect over the entire year and see what you have accomplished, be able to compare it with other years, and feel proud of yourself and feel excited and inspired and motivated for what's next. So here's what I do. I call it the gratitude tracker. So what I do is I use Evernote, but you could do this in a Google Doc, you could do this in a Word doc, in any kind of text file. You could do this honestly on a bunch of piece of papers, right? On a notebook. It doesn't really matter. The form factor doesn't truly matter. But here's what I do. I have, in my case, an Evernote file, just one note file that's labeled 2016 in this year. And then every month I just write January, and then in bullet points, as I'm living the month of January, I write in bullet points everything awesome, everything successful, everything amazing, everything that I'm blessed with, everything that I was able to create and accomplished in a bullet point. I just keep track of this in a very low maintenance way. Sometimes it's just a few keywords, sometimes it's one sentence. I just keep track day by day, week by week. Whenever something awesome happens, I go, oh, let's write it in the gratitude tracker. And I write down, we hit this milestone, we made this amount of revenue, closed the biggest deal of our lives, got a press article launched here, hired this amazing new person, launched this amazing new feature, had this really incredible insight that I think will change the business in the future. Whatever positive happens, I just add one more bullet point and add it to it. And as the month concludes, I always take a look at it. I read through the bullet points, soak it in, and I go, holy shit, this was a better month than I felt. Than I felt this was a pretty good month. And then I start the next month. So it's January, and then I just write February, and I start a new bullet point list. And as the year progresses, that gratitude tracker, that note just gets longer and longer until it is a virtual representation of everything good that has happened in that year, right? January to December, I have everything loosely tracked. Now, over time, I started separating this into two brackets. So I have business and, personal life. So I keep track of all the cool things that happen in my personal life and all the cool things that are happening in my business. Then eventually, because I'm a very visual person, once in a while something truly special happens and it's represented in some visual way, maybe a revenue milestone that we have on a dashboard, or maybe I was a talk that I gave that seemed really meaningful, and it's a picture of me on stage, right? It might just be good for my ego, or maybe it's something, some milestone that a child of mine accomplished, and I have a picture of a special moment or a vacation that we went to. I'll have the bullet points, and below it, I'll have some images that represent the beauty of that month in my life. And I've been doing this for 3 years now, and it's incredibly powerful because it takes almost no effort. It's so easy for me to maintain and do. It's just for me, and it allows me every month to reflect back on what was great that month, and especially at the end of the year, it allows me, what I do now as a habit over the past 3 years is I will take a whole day to review my year, to look at everything that's great. And then, because I've done this in the prior years, I'm going to compare the year with other years and see the growth and the changes, and I will meditate on it and go around and walk and think about it and dwell on it and explore it further with more distance and perspective. And then I'll pick some highlights that I feel comfortable sharing, and I will share my success with others. So I have a list of friends and family members and people like that that I feel close to and special to, and I will send them an email sharing my highlights of the year with them and asking them to share their highlights back with me. And it's been an incredibly powerful tool in my life. And you can use a simple thing like that in many, many areas. I was just talking to somebody that's a team member that was like, I've been working on all these projects, I've been doing all these things, but I have a really hard time seeing the overall progress. And then we really stepped back and we talked about the larger mission that she's on. And I encourage her to just take a whiteboard and in bullet points, every time she accomplishes a small victory towards the bigger mission that drives her, to write it down so she has a visual representation of progress and a visual feedback loop that things are going well, even at times when she might get lost or lose sight or lose vision or just be drowned in the noise of the daily life. So some of the challenges that we all face. So I've shared this secret with many, many people in my personal life, and lots of people have started adopting this successfully, the gratitude tracker, and I wanted to share it with you. I know that most of you will feel similarly, because I find that a lot of people that are very, very ambitious and that are very goal-oriented, that are very future-leaning as personalities, always looking at the vision, at the future, always chasing the next milestone, have an incredibly hard time to truly understand what they're accomplishing along the way, because they always focus on the challenges and the problems and the next goals. And especially at the end of the year, they sit down and they just feel drowned and drained and exhausted and tired. And if you didn't have like breakout success in December, you might just falsely think this was not that great of a year. And I find, like this year, for instance, I'll honestly tell you that if I didn't have the gratitude tracker, I would feel like this year was a massive failure and I would feel depressed. But having that keeps my head above water. Having that makes me realize, no, motherfucker, it's your ego and it's you being tired and it's all these other things. But this year was amazing. I hope that this is going to be useful to you people. I hope that you can use it. If you have other tools, other ideas, other ways that you keep track and celebrate your successes and keep track and keep perspective over your life as it's happening, please share them in the comments. Please share them with me personally, Steli@close.io. If you want to get my list of my accomplishments and successes and then share yours with me back, send me an email, Steli@close.io, and I'll be excited to share our successes and hopefully with that elevate both of us to greater successes for the next year. All right, that's it from me. Looking forward to see you very, very soon.